There we are. Hey, everybody.
Hello, everybody.
I brought a couple kitties.
Poor little guy. He wants to go
Aww.
now. That's Hifu.
Oh, gotta mute myself. There we go. Okay. What's up? Stacy is here
Hi.
with us.
How are you?
Hi, I'm awesome.
Right
How are
on.
you?
I'm tired and very pretty good. Yeah. In the midst of moving and busy but happy and all that stuff
And stuff like that.
and stuff like I was going to do that.
Got it.
Yeah, and stuff
Awesome.
like that. I wonder if it's better if I look at this little thing because when I'm looking at this,
Yeah. It looks like you're looking at us now. If
yeah,
you look
right
straight
now.
ahead.
So I
Yeah.
look at yeah, because that's where the camera is.
Right.
Let me do this. Okay, I'll try and do that.
Yeah. So
How's life?
it's, the same as always,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Full on marathons of live streaming for you.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It was one of those yesterday. I wake up and I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do anything. I'm probably gonna stay up for a couple hours and go back to bed. That's what I've been doing since Mamathon.
Right.
But Linda and Julie are like, nope, no, you're not.
Yeah.
You're gonna go live today. We're gonna like go and talk to all the people who've been like having withdrawals with the rest of us
Right.
and see.
The first day was bad, but after that it was okay.
Yeah, you got over it.
Yeah, that's right.
Everybody else was like, "What is happening? Nobody's live."
Yeah.
We broke them all. Like they're all
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
broken.
Yeah.
But hey, Mark. Hi, everybody.
Oh yeah, I can't
Jen.
read chat, so I'm not set up for it. So
Okay, Mark
you
Hodnot's here.
hey Marky. Right
What's
on.
up?
What
How's
time is it where
everybody?
Mark is? Is it
Oh my gosh, I don't.
I wonder if
It's
he's in Australia, so it's
it's
six
in the
hours.
morning, sometime
Maybe.
pretty early in the morning.
Well, good day, mate.
Good day. Hopefully, I said that. I don't know. I don't have an Australia. I can't do it.
Yeah.
So, what have you been up to?
Let me see. Since marathon or in life?
All the above.
Um, well, lots of stuff. Since Australia, it's been a whirlwind. And sold a house. I moved. I was renting my property out, so I sold that, and I was living at another sort of on a farm, and so I moved off that place too. So it's been a lot, and getting rid of a lot of the stuff that has accumulated over the 15, 20 years I was there, and yeah, so it's cool. It's a lot of change, and then with the
Mm.
Australia stuff and the music and some of the MAM stuff going on, it's been a lot of action, which coming from a very small rural community is not normal. So I'm a little bit tired, but still rocking it. So it's still good. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
still rocking it.
Well, I mean, just day by day. I don't know
Mm,
how I used to do what I used to do as a young man, work all those hours and do all this other stuff. I
right.
get so overwhelmed now with just trying to do as much. It's like choosing how I want to spend my days more than worried about money. And I
Mm,
mean, I don't have a lot of money, but I just value time more. So it's like that,
right.
trying to
It's
like, yeah,
it's
go on.
nice when you get a little bit older, and it's like, yeah,
Mm,
it's good to be able to just appreciate all the time that you have now to do all the other things when normally you would have been just working to death, like working yourself
yeah,
to death. Take
all those
care of your.
hours. Oh my God.
I know.
Like in construction back in the day. And I ran my own company for a number of years. Um, so like you're pulling 10, 12-hour days, and then if you own it, you're doing another two every night on paperwork, or you don't do it,
Hmm.
then you have to do six hours one night on paperwork. So all that seems like a dream a long time ago, but life's not like that right now for me. And who knows what it will be like in a year, but right now it's pretty nice to. I mean, I just went through a breakup of fairly long marriage, and that happened about 5 years ago, and so it's just tying up now. It's so nice just to like the entrails of that sort of breakup and that sort of all that emotional stuff is just getting tied up now, even though it happened
Yeah.
long. Every year, like after the first year, there's obviously understandable trauma or like an emotional pain and stuff. And then about 2 years after the breakup, you're kind of like, oh, that's it. And then 3 years, you're like, oh, it's almost done now. But
Mhm.
now I feel like it's all things are getting just tucked away. By the way, if you hear
Yeah.
this any noise behind me, it's my cat going crazy.
I'm used to that, you know.
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
Like
Yeah.
and that was nice. That was nice to see the kitty again. It's been a while.
Well, it's funny because we just did the move. He just came over here. I'm actually in this sort of, it's a building that's probably slated for a reno. And so, in amongst my moving, I just can store my stuff here. And we needed somewhere to bring him because we have two other cats. And so we need to integrate them or introduce them.
Mhm.
And so he's been inside for a day and a half and he's going batty. Absolutely. He's a country outdoor cat, killer, mice, rats, birds, anything. But
Yeah.
he's been acting pretty funny. So
Yeah.
he'll
I'm not
probably
sure
he'll make an appearance. I bet you, like just
like
racing behind me or something.
I know, right? Isn't that funny how they
Yeah.
always do? Like she
Yeah.
literally just jumped up
Right.
right before you popped on.
Yeah.
Like or she just they know
Yeah.
something's happening and something
Yeah.
is
She's
changing.
looking at you.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna be here. I'm gonna be involved. Hi. I am the
Yeah.
co-host after all
Yeah.
on my
Hey, look
perch
at that.
here.
Looks like you got a wrecking crew book behind you.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I got all my little books, the Sean Atwood book and
Oh, yeah.
the ones that Greaseback sent me.
She's been so quiet lately. Hey,
Who?
Zellner. She's been so
Oh,
quiet. I mean,
yeah. Yeah, I
so
haven't heard much going on at all. I guess she's
no.
just like distracted with Melissa.
Yeah,
Is
I
there
think so.
something else going on that she's doing right now? I know she's been in
Well,
like
that,
court and stuff.
yeah, I was trying to contact them, and one of her secretaries there, or people that work for her, emailed me back and said, "Hey, Kathleen's going to trial on the 15th of April." So that's probably still going, I'd imagine. I don't know if that's total truth or he was just batting me away like a fly. No, but
Yeah. No, I'm sure. I'm sure
yeah,
that's
so
totally true. I bet she's really busy. The other,
plus, I
because
mean, she's just got to live too. She's got to
yeah,
have the
like
family and all that stuff.
yeah, she's like, this is not my life, you guys. Like making a
Right,
murder is not my life. It's not the
right,
only thing I do.
yeah. Although
Unlike
it's a
us.
big part. I think she should. I mean, we've talked previously along lots, and at one point I was like, oh, yeah, I would do. She could do a lot on making a murderer. She could create
Yeah.
a lot more awareness. I mean, I wish she would in a way. Like her Twitter account is great. I love that. I just want because I'm a fan and I'm mildly obsessed with it that I want her to do more on it. But it's probably not great for the might hinder her case. And she's
Hmm.
got enough on her plate.
Yeah.
So
Martha says James Faith is asking Stacy if he can tweet Stacy's songs out. I
yeah,
mean,
feel free. Yeah,
yeah,
spread them
right?
out. Yeah, they're all
Tweet and retweet.
Facebook.
We still need to get Stacy to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube so he can
Yeah,
go live for us.
yeah, that'd be cool. I'm so far away though. Really, to be honest, last check was 6:55. So during Mamathon, Diane, Little Misty 84 or six, yeah, I think that's her Twitter handle. She started a campaign, and in that 2 days, I got like 225
Right.
new subscribers. It was awesome, but since then, it's just gone up five. I might lose one or two a day. You never know. It depends.
Right. Right. Like, where do they go? I was looking at that
It's like
today. I was
I'm
like,
tired of this guy.
I lost three like since
Yeah,
yesterday. Like, did I offend somebody by going
yeah,
live for like 12 hours yesterday?
yeah. There's
Okay.
enough. Yeah, they're like
I'm so
enough.
sorry.
Yeah,
I know I'm like sick of you, Allie. Really, just go away. It's enough
I can
already.
see them. I can see them. Stopping me because I don't really have too much content other than the odd song I put out. And
Yeah.
I don't pump them out, so it's not like they either come around or they don't. The songs, and So it's just the same old crap, you know. Not
Same
the
old crap.
and stuff like that.
Same old awesome songs that everybody loves. Oh, by the way, hi
They're pretty cool.
Jerome. Jerome said
Hey
hi.
Jerome. Hey Jerome.
He said hello and hi and bye bye. Love you. Love you too, Jerome. Good to see you. Hope you're having fun on your vacation.
Yeah,
But I'll be
vacations are fun.
messaging you later, Jerome, because I have just something to tell you about the package. Amy said she loves how much I go live. I know, right? I can't stay. I can't help it. I really love talking to everybody, so it's hard not to, unless I'm going through like what the recovery process of
Yeah.
48 hours. Like the off and on was just brutal. I can do it for straight. I could go a whole day straight. I could do that. Like I was up for 30 something hours yesterday. Could have gone live the whole time, but I just, you know, doing 4 hours on, like 6 hours off, 5 hours, and it's just weird. It's really hard to do that because I have to be like up and down so much.
You're a
It's
marathon runner.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I'm not a sprinter.
I will be that's what if there's another marathon, which there will be, even if they're out, I bet there's something like it. You'll do
Hmm.
1 day straight. Eric Jose 1 day straight. Paul might Paul might have to, that's what it'll just be a week-long event eventually.
Week long. Like why not? We should do like I. Gosh, can you imagine what we're gonna do during the rally?
No.
Like that's going to be insane. There's going to be so many of us like YouTubers right there
Mm,
together. We'll be and you like hopefully by then we'll be up to 1,000. So we all be like live randomly
yeah.
throughout that weekend. I was talking to somebody this morning about that actually because
Mm,
they're not able to come, and I was like, that's why we want to all be able to go live as much as we can because we want all the people who can't make it there to feel like they're part of it, to feel like they're there with us and experiencing all the fun, not just the 4 hours standing at the courthouse with
yeah,
our
that's right.
signs and stuff. It's really nice. I remember the one year that I didn't get to go. I really enjoyed all the lives that popped up. Like I'd just be sitting there watching YouTube and hoping somebody would hurry up and go live again
Mm,
so I could see, well, what's going on now? Like it's been 30 minutes. Come on,
hmm.
So
Yeah,
hopefully we'll like
I
stagger it
really
a bit.
I hope it'll just be a tag team. It's like you end and Eric Jose starts, and then it'll just
Hmm.
be like.
Yeah.
But I really hope people. It's a long journey for me too, and
Mhm.
it's Mark Hodnott when he first brought up the idea of going to Australia, there was reasons why I might not I could have made to not go. There's scheduling and but he said, life's made up of experiences and there's nothing else, and so if there is a chance, and it's rung true throughout my life, those times where I just made the space and went to an event, um, it was well worth it, and so I hope a lot of
Yeah.
people, maybe even closer to that, just decide to, hey, it's a 2 day drive or it's a 1 day drive, or I've got the
Mhm.
weekend off, just come on down, and more the merrier, especially this year. I think, I don't know, it
Yeah.
just feels like the momentum's growing,
Yes.
and so I think there's, yeah, a continual sort of urging on YouTube by all the YouTubers to attend, and maybe right before the rally, just do another, push, for people, just to encourage them. So
Right. Yeah.
yeah,
I try to mention it if I can remember to. I try to mention it like every time I'm live just to
yeah,
keep people talking because it seems like almost every time somebody's like, what rally, when, and we're like,
right,
well, here's the Facebook family group, go and check it out. Like there's a lot of stuff planned, like the 4 hours at the courthouse, and then going out to the salvage yard, I guess, and having like a
right,
cookout, and then going to the Baymont
right.
for just a gathering.
I don't
And
even know the schedule. I tend to opt out of those things, or like I'll attend, but I have other things I usually want to do and stuff. So
are you gonna
we'll
go
see.
like digging through the water with me, looking for the keys?
Ah,
over
yeah,
there.
I'll bring some magnets.
Yeah, yeah.
No,
Do you have a
it,
metal detector?
yeah,
Because I think I need one.
yeah. It's so
I
funny. You
remember.
know, one of the aspects that always hits me about the case is that it seems so contemporary, but it's so old. You know, it's 13 years ago,
Mhm.
and so when you see that con- recent photos of this salvage yard, it's so much different, and everyone's
Yes.
different. You know, but you know, it's a phenom. This case, never, it won't ever happen again. Something like this.
Right. Like
Yeah.
just wait till you see the salvage art in person, because
Mm,
it's so much different than it looks in Making a Murderer. Like all those cars are gone. It's just bare, and it's
right.
really sad. Just makes you like really
Hmm.
understand the impact that this has had on their family and their business and
Yeah.
just their lives.
Yeah.
Um, also, by the way, Suzanne Wallen, I think I said that right, said, "Can she said, can you please tell Stacy his new song is fantastic?"
Oh, thanks.
And
Yeah. I
sorry,
actually, yeah. Go ahead.
I'm gonna try to keep an eye on chat if I can.
Sure.
Will somebody just tag me if you want me to say something to Stacy or pass off a message or anything like that, so that I'm sure to see it. And if any of the million mods that are here happen to see something that I missed, please let me know. So I don't want to miss anything that you want to say to Stacy since he can't see chat. So
Yeah.
do you want to talk about your MAM fam
Ah, we
project?
can. Sure. I mean,
I'd love to
that's
hear more
fun.
about it. There's the
Yeah.
kitty. I saw the kitty there.
Yeah. There he is. Um, so yeah, the Man Fam. Well, you know, that idea started a while ago, and
Really? I didn't know.
yeah, and
Never heard.
uh, and way back when, actually, to be honest, about a year ago or maybe more, I was thinking, oh, it's really bizarre why this affected me so much. I started looking like why did this thing grab me, you know? And before I got that answer, I started looking at all these other people that Maricosa, you, Perplexed, you know, all these people like that. And Aaron Keller, you know, after working on that case in media, he became a lawyer. And Casey Oliver, she began going to law. And I thought, well, it's a bizarre case, you know, like why does it grab so many people? And having gone through something very um, that was right just after the divorce, which was a very sudden thing for me. It was virtually um, getting a text, you know, and there was kids involved and stuff, and it's sort of like, hey, I'm not coming back. And so, and it was after a long, um, you know, a lot of work. And so I think that's what got me. It's just like I identify with that injustice, and and it was an interesting case. So then I started thinking, hey, what about all these other people? So I just thought about writing a book at one point, and then I thought, with all this recent stuff, um, you know, it's a passion of mine. And so, how often do you come? I don't come across passions in my life too often. I haven't, you know. I like
Same.
music, yeah, and so it's like, um, you know, like a passion. It's not an unhealthy obsession. Like maybe the first 6 months might have been for me, you know, like just
Yeah.
reading everything you could. But then I kind of, you know, I'm mature, so I didn't. I still had a life and stuff, and the songs let out some of the frustration that would happen. So then I just thought, well, I should go interview people, you know, and
Mm.
to me, the Man Fam is like it's focused on the case, but it's like I want to go down and see Arcosa, you, all these other people that have, and just in general, like a lot of people. I would love to interview a lot of people, and they don't have to be like YouTubers or anything, but um, it focuses on what happened, and we're going to talk about the Stephen Avery Making a Murderer case. But then I like to pivot off it, and I want to go into the human experience of why do you think it bothered you so much? Because it's a bigger story, and it goes way further, and it's very relevant at this particular time politically and worldwide. You know, um, and I think it's an interesting thing. And so it's a brainchild right now. I've yet to do well. I've done maybe one interview that was not as long as I liked. So I thought, yeah. So I'm just planning. I'm just doing the schedule actually this week, and I plan to go down, take some footage, um, interview these people, uh, and probably put together YouTube videos. And I think it'll be great content because it is going to be focused on making a murder, but it's not. And we'll see how it happens or how it works out. But I'm excited, and it's so fun to be excited about something. Those passions, you can
Yes.
work 13 hours, like, uh, and it doesn't even seem like work.
Right.
You got
Which
an
is
endless supply,
my
So
lives. They're like
yeah,
that. Yeah.
yeah, that's right. So I don't know how long that'll last. I don't know if it'll peter out. I don't know if it'll become a massive success, or I don't have a lot of. I'm trying to keep it low budget and humble, you know. But there are some characters, in our family. So I think it will be
Yes.
entertaining, and I urge people, if they're interested in being part of it, just shoot me a text on, or shoot you a text, and I'll just compile a list, because part of these tours I have, some are road trips. So if you're along that route and I can use a place to crash one night or interview you, or, I could hopscotch it, that would keep costs down. Sometimes I'm flying, um, and just going to try and have fun with it and see. So I think next week, if I'm not certain yet, but I think next week is the first real blast at it, like doing footage, so it's going to be fun.
Yeah. I know. I'm
Yeah.
excited about that.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. And the other thing I love about it is that one of the reasons I put those two trailers out was because the convicting a murderer thing came out. And one of these things that we can do is keep the narrative moving in a pro Avery way. That's my slant. I don't try to pretend that, hey, I'm taking an objective. I've never thought Stephen Avery was guilty, or Brendan Dassey. Never, never. They could confess, and I would find reasons probably that I
just
would
don't
have to.
believe it.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
there's just no evidence. Once you go in, it's just, everyone knows it. Everyone watching knows what I'm talking about.
Right.
But it's a good way to continually, if the, let's say, the prosecution state side, whatever, the guilty side, if they're going to produce this propaganda saying that Stephen Avery's guilty and MAM was a slanted, one-sided document, that's fine, because I can do the same thing,
Yes.
And the thing is that when I get my interviews of people, like everyone I talk to about the case is, I would say, like fairly knowledgeable about the case. It's not vague insinuations or accusations from years ago and rumors and stuff like that. It's like they know document page numbers. I mean, that's like a lot of us, right? Like 1114
Yes.
dash 1115. Or so those things. And I think I'm hoping, if I'm if I have the right talent in interviewing, and which I have enough knowledge, I think I do. I hope the content is really interesting, for those interested in making a murder, and just maybe lay people, And so that's another way to
Mhm.
promote that side of the story, that where this is a frame job, because it was.
Yeah. What would be like? Do you want people to email you? What's the best way for them to contact you if they'd like to?
Well, I'm on Twitter, or just comment on one of my videos. That's probably easiest on YouTube. Just give me some sort of message. I'm still reaching out to people. Like over the last year, I've got about 10, 12 people right now that I've kind of directly contacted. So that's the first step. But hey, the more the merrier. And,
Mhm.
you know, I think it's going to be fascinating, to be honest. And unfortunately, yeah, I think there'll be an endless stream of people if it's popular.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure. Like I have no doubt.
Yeah,
There's already people in chat that are like, I will, I'll do it, me.
right on. Yeah,
Yeah. So make sure
because
you message him and let him know.
part of the stuff. I mean, a lot of people said, "Well, just do online like this, right?"
Mhm.
But I want to capture some of their real life, who they are, and and that's always interesting to me in documentaries and stuff, when you're seeing the individual. feeding his chickens or driving and just whatever they do in their day-to-day life. So
Watching Papa Avery eat cabbage like
yeah,
straight out of
that's
the
right.
garden.
Yeah,
Like
that's right. Yeah.
that is so cool. I won't ever forget that.
So I don't know how I'm gonna, I think I can. I think I'll get a few underneath my belt, and we'll see if I can gather some funding or just do it on the as low budget as I can, and just have fun this year. It's not like something I plan to do forever, but I just did. Like I say, I just sold a house. I have some space. I have a little bit of money, and I'm happy, and so I want to do it and just and see what happens. I mean, it'd be cool. And then along that way too, I can just do my songs and maybe raise some awareness like that. I really do want to do a live show and film it.
Hmm.
Just total all the songs. I don't know how many there is now, 15 or something, and do those. Eric Jose was saying, "Oh, I like how he talks about." So I'm trying to uh, hone in on the list of songs and how I can kind of talk and educate people in between the songs. Like a list of them. So not just chronologically what song came first, but
Yeah,
it's a
people
tough
really
thing. Yeah,
liked that when you went live from that
mm,
little show there where
yeah,
you live. And
yeah,
then you were talking in between the songs and just like before and then between the songs and just kind of giving
yeah,
people little bits and pieces of information. And
yeah,
look what's happened. Like now they're still coming up to you and like,
yeah,
"Hey, I watched that thing."
yeah. That's true.
That's so
It's
cool.
really cool. I mean, that is a really something I never would have thought. Because I always just think people listen to you and they go home, and then I mean, I live in a small community, so I'm well known and stuff. But yeah, I think 10, probably more now. Um, and I got emails or Facebook messages from friends and stuff that say, "Hey, we just binge watched that thing," and it's always shocking. I've said it before. It's always shocking when people haven't watched it. I'm just like,
Right.
"What are you doing?" And so, but if I can get 12 people just off one show, can you imagine if we just get the snowball rolling and other people start doing other things.
Right.
So I'd love to. I mean, the dream is like this for the Man Fam is to really go down. I had a whole tour, which is so do a little state tour right down the coast, down to Texas, come back up to see you, um, and those people in Chicago area, like just
Xelner.
Zellner. Well, those are like if you can get them right on, but Farak, I'd like to talk to Farak or Buting or any of those.
Yeah,
Some of the
remember that,
people,
okay? Lots of cool people live right here by me.
yeah,
So
and
you'll be
some of
like, see Allie, go see Frat, come back and see Allie, go see Zellner. We'll all go to lunch, why not? And then come
but
back
then
and see Allie again.
I'd love to go to Paul. I'd love to go to Scotland. I'd love to go back down to Australia. It's like that's the dream. That's the whole like, oh, if things worked out perfectly, and
Mhm.
why not dream? Because it's better than not dreaming.
Yeah, for sure.
It's been a crazy year. So what the hell?
Right, exactly. I'm with you on that passion thing. Like I just can't I don't know what it is exactly. I can't even like put my finger on one thing, but ever since I watched Make Your Murder, I've felt that passion like I hadn't felt and I don't even know how long. I
Yeah,
just can't even remember
I don't
where
think
I
I've had one like it.
yeah, I don't think I have either. And it's like I can't stop. I think
Mm,
about it all the time and I
mm,
always want to be looking into something or talking to someone or any little thing I can do. And even if I go off onto another case, like I'm still looking for similarities and different things that kind of tie into this. And
mm,
I'm seeing the patterns of like injustice and the wrongful convictions or
yeah,
the false confessions, just the way the police handled this or that, all the things that go on in the court system. And it's like, so I learn a little bit of something here and there and bring it
mm,
back here. Like
yeah,
I'm going and gathering information and bringing it back home and trying to use it
yeah.
somehow.
Well, and I mean, I think a lot of us, there's a core 500 of us, probably less, that are like this. That are watching live streams
Hmm.
and eating it up. And they might,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, probably everyone watching will identify. But I had a bleeding nose the other morning, and the blood splattered onto the floor.
Oh my God.
And the first thing, what's the first thing that goes through your head when you see one drop of blood on the floor? I'm like, oh yeah, interesting. I was going to take a picture. I was going to like, let it dry, like all these things, and I don't. But those thoughts definitely go through my head. I mean,
You didn't do it. Oh, you
no,
should
I didn't.
have.
Yeah, no.
You should have. That's what I
But
did. I was
yeah,
literally like I was kind of taking a little break from the case and I was kind of done and just doing something else and I was making dinner one night, cut the shit out of my finger and the first thing I thought of was I could do a blood experiment. I could
yeah,
see if I
yeah.
could
Go
re-wet
start
this
your car.
blood and make some swipes and some drips and I did it and unfortunately, since I wasn't like actively doing anything in the case at
Right.
that time, I didn't record it. I didn't get pictures, but I did it for my own curiosity because it's
Mm-hmm.
still there, even if I'm, because everybody needs to just kind of step back for a minute and go, fuck, yeah, let it
Yeah,
go for just a little bit and just
yeah.
kind of chill. But
Right.
it's always there. Like it's still there
It's
when you
that's why
see
I mean,
blood.
that's why I mean, for those of us that are really into it, it's one thing, but that's why I say it's a phenom. It is. This will never happen where twice wrongfully convicted, second time filmed. I mean, you're just not going to have that. And the third part of it, because I've thought about a lot, like so blatant once you um, well, first getting access to all the documents. I mean, that was and crowdsourcing that back in 2016, early like January, and then having so many people just scour over the records, and then just seeing sort of these blatant discrepancies. I mean, that's what in the last couple of days I just thought it's just because it's so blatant. That's what it gets me. It's like for me, anyways. That's from my perspective. It's just right there. You can see how everything went down. I mean, if
Hmm.
you have the eyes, it's like you can't not see it. And
Right.
I've questioned my own objectivity, and I always circle back once in a while, and I go, okay, but it doesn't last long because there's once one thing is askew, and then there's five things. All of a sudden, there's 20 things, and you're just going, no, I'm back to where this is what, and that's
Yeah.
why the documentary is made. They
Mhm.
they say it was whatever, but it was also, or that's maybe why it was not made, but why it's so popular because it looks like it, and it probably is what it looks like. So
Yeah, it's hard. Like you watch the documentary and then you find out that holy shit, there's this whole community
mm,
online everywhere you look, every social media, everything is
mm,
there's making a murder community going on. And there's all the documents are available and you can look into that. Like
yeah,
that's a new thing for me. That might be the thing, like I just never could get that deep into it. Usually when I get like interested in a case or something, like I'll go and search, like Google search it, and I'll look at
right,
everything that there is. I'll read whatever's out there, the articles. I'll watch everything on YouTube that I can find, any documentaries, whatever, and then that's it. Like it doesn't ever go any further than that. So this is the first time I've ever like had my hands on like physical papers that I've been
right,
able to print
yeah.
out, highlight, and holy shit, this
I
is
mean, and tons of
insane.
it,
Yeah,
and
you
and
just
it's still being
find out.
produced. I mean, I haven't checked out
Mhm.
Henbury. You know, I haven't checked out those ledgers that he released after Mammothon. Have you?
No.
No, I
Mm-mm.
haven't either. But it's still being produced. I mean, those evidence ledgers. That was what I have no idea. Maybe 2 or 3 months ago.
Oh, the ledgers. Yeah, I looked at
Yeah,
ledgers.
those ones I've seen, but not the recent ones. But I mean, it's just like
Right.
we're still getting more and more to feed us. We're and the more information that I see, the more discrepancies there are. And the other thing I think about all this sort of information that we're getting is that I think generally people are starved for intellectual stimulation.
Mhm.
TV has dumbed us down to sad levels. Most people, and so when you get this, it's captivating, and you can actually start learning. You just feel really. I mean, it satisfies this, like when I went to school. When I went to university and stuff.
Right,
It's
yeah.
back there. It's like, oh, I'm growing new tendrils. Right on. I
Right.
love this. My brain is growing, and So it's cool. I think that's another aspect that it's very hands-on. We crowdsourced and pre-sourced the information, and anyone from now until those sites are destroyed or taken down can go and start learning at their own rate, you know. And
Hmm.
I used to promote people. I was like, hey, you got to watch this documentary, and I still do that to an extent, but not. I kind of try and read the person first. I don't want to ruin their life, you know. I don't want to give
Right.
highly addictive or obsessed people. I'll just keep away from it because it can just take over, you know, like it did at the first 6 months for sure. I
Right.
mean, when you're reading trial transcripts, I mean that's like, for me, it was
Hmm.
just like this moment, like, oh my god, like,
Exactly. I was like,
yeah,
what am I doing? I don't understand this stuff. Like
yeah,
I don't know, I was probably 12 or something. I don't remember. It was young, pretty young.
mm,
I was when I first so I was watching Perry Mason on TV. I always loved Perry Mason. I thought he was just like everything. And
right,
all I ever wanted to do was be a lawyer. Like
right,
that's all
yeah,
I
yeah,
wanted to solve cases. I wanted to like solve the mystery and get the bad guy and um get justice for the victim. Like
mm,
that's all, like I don't know, from a really young age that's what I wanted. So thinking, the day that this is the sad part, the day that I found out that most of the time when you're an attorney, you're doing paperwork. And I'm
right,
like,
yeah,
fucking paperwork. I don't want to do paperwork. Like, that's not what I want to do. I want to go out there and get in the middle of stuff and be Perry Mason and solve the mystery, get you know, the magnifying glass and figure it out. And he's like, he's a detective and he's like, he's everything. I just never thought, oh, you're sitting in a freaking office and you're doing
right,
paperwork. And
yeah. You're
sometimes you'll
looking at
go,
precedents, and like this one's not even going to get to,
yeah, reading
court.
books.
Yeah,
Oh,
plea
man.
bargains.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
going and negotiating with the judge about what to do about
right,
something
yeah,
that's already pretty much pre-handled. You're just the person pushing the paperwork up to the judge. Like that doesn't sound fun at all. And I was so disappointed when
yeah. So
I
I mean,
figured
that's
that
why,
out.
I mean, there's that analogy or that reference to Perry Mason type sort of characteristics that Zellner has. You know, she goes and throws a dead sheep over a bridge for some of, she's got that quality, that sort of super um, extraordinary sort of capabilities as a legal
Hmm.
mind and stuff. So that's one of her appeal. I think that's common. I love that, those type of stories, all, whether it was Perry Mason or right through, the list of TV shows in the 80s and 90s that was like that. But
Hmm.
yeah, definitely. I mean, I actually I took a couple of law classes at university because I went for about 3 years, and I went really right out of high school. I went to one university, and I was only 17. I just dropped out of first term. Then I took about a year off, and I went back, and so I was majoring in criminology. So I have a lot of sort of I've always been fascinated by crime, and
Hmm.
I was in a light. We were in this. I've taken courses on mass murders. I've taken we were part of a lifers group, so we would go into the prison and interview these guys serving life for, like, once every 3 weeks.
Oh,
Yeah, it was really cool. And
that
so I've all
sounds really interesting.
yeah, it was really cool. What was really interesting was, in there was a guy that had taken the exact same course, 2 or 3 years earlier, and it was the same instructor. And he's like, and her name was
Oh,
Liz, and he's like, hey Liz, and it's just a weird.
oh, how
um,
sad he went the wrong way.
yeah, just it's a really interesting to talk with people that are serving life, because in Canada here it might be different, but usually life are murderers or sex offenders, and they get sort of brownie points for taking part in uh, courses, or like interacting and things like that.
Hmm.
It's good for their record, and they're low risk anyways, because it was a low security prison that we were entering. And um, the murderers and stuff, or Hell's Angel gang member, whatever they are, they're really talkative. I hate to say it, but they're just really almost normal people. that just for whatever reasons took a wrong turn, and yeah, so it was really interesting. That was one of the best courses I took, to be honest. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I'm not ignoring you guys. I wrote down the question that she wanted me to ask Ziggy and Linda about, and I might as well just go ahead and ask it. They're asking, and if this is not the question you're referring to, just let me know. They're asking if you would use other people's lyrics, like write a song with it.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've been asked that a lot. I tend not to because it's not for me. Songs aren't really like that. They're. I mean, I have tried. People have sent me some lyrics. Some of them are good, but it really comes from the heart for me. So it's not really like. Sometimes there was, I'll use some people's ideas. Like, not really. I don't use other people. Like, I can see sometimes people send me stuff and I see the value in them, but I generally don't ever use. I can't remember the last time I used some, but I'll use an idea. Right now, actually, I saw a tweet from someone I don't know, and it spurred this train of thought on me, and I've started to kind of write some lyrics. No tunes yet, but so I don't usually do that. It's just not the way they come out. As you know, I mean, because we've talked for months and months. These things sometimes just come out so quick. I mean, it's not even me. When I listen to, I mean, to be honest, it's a surreal. I was telling Mark the other week or month. It's very surreal to have all these songs when I look at them or I hear one of them that I haven't heard for a while, and it's like, I don't know. It's weird. It's a weird process to be the creator of it, but not really. I mean, that Illusion of Justice, as you know, came out like 23 minutes or 30 minutes. It was pretty much done from nothing. Same with I think It Really Matters, or yeah, I think it was that one of them, or no, the one with the banjo. What's the one it was? The one Zellner said it was a good one.
Um, was it? It wasn't
They
Illusion of
didn't take
Justice,
too
was
all.
it?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
that one. I mean, that was really quick. So those are like
Well,
weird. I mean, it's weird.
Illusion of Justice, 30 minutes,
Yeah,
remember?
yeah, that's
Like,
right. I
we're
mean, that's the
talking
thing.
1 minute,
Yeah,
and you're like, I'm going to bed. 30
yeah,
minutes later, like, Allie,
yeah.
I
I
wrote
got
a
this song.
song.
Hey, you want to hear it?
That was the
But
coolest
that
thing
was,
ever.
yeah, and that's how it happens. So it's like for me, it's you know, I could use other people's lyrics, but they don't usually come out of me like that. So,
Yeah,
but it's not like I don't believe in other people's lyrics or anything. I knew this guy would come here. Look at him.
of course. Oh my god,
Oh
that
yeah, big
purr.
cutie.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah,
We're just like a lot of people, like we're just sitting and talking, and he lays down on the couch, and the cat's like, oops, and the
yeah,
cat's like up on his chest, and I can hear purr, purr,
yeah,
purr, purr. It's so great.
yeah.
That
He's
is
a
my
purr.
favorite
That's
sound.
this guy's.
Definitely my favorite sound, I think, in the world is cat purrs. I just love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Well, he is in need of attention because he's been sort of through the move. His world's been rocked, So
Mhm.
and he wants out so bad. He's just trying to be so lovey, and then he'll go through his bratty stage where he's ripping up and around but it should be. We're gonna let him out tomorrow probably and see what happens.
Are the other cats outside too?
Yeah,
So they can like
there's a.
find
It's a
each
lot
other.
different. It's like where I am right now. There's a road right. Like I just saw a car go by, so my property was quite rural, like,
Oh, right.
and so it was just mostly forest, and same with the farm. It was just a lot of 10 acres of farm, orchard, and so this is more of like a lot, on a road, and
Mm. Yeah, I
he's
don't
pretty
see. I don't
savvy
like
though.
cats.
He's good.
That would make I like I've never ever 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 liked my pets to be outside,
Oh
even
yeah,
if I was out in the middle of nowhere, because I'd just be
right.
scared like a wild animal will get them or something. And I know that that probably makes some animals not as happy, but like
Yeah,
I just, especially a
Oh,
cat, because they'll just jump a fence, and a dog, at least you
in a
can let
city,
them.
I think it's safe. But when I mean, they actually provide purpose here because there are like mice and voles and things like
Yeah.
that, rodents that'll just get into your house, get into your attic, get into your food. And it's like, so it's good. It's
Hmm.
like the
Look, I got a visitor.
circle of life. Yeah.
There's my baby.
Oh
Hi,
yeah.
honey. Oh, hello. She's always like curious. Did you see the other kitty? Did you see him? Okay, it's back up in the back of the chair. Okay,
Yeah.
time to supervise again. Oh, Linda said she had a kitty that looked just like yours. Aw.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I got him from
Oh.
the SPCA. They found him on some logging roads with his, five brothers and sisters, and someone just abandoned them there. And so I was
Oh.
actually going in to look at cats, and I had my eye on this really charcoal gray one, and then he just ran out and he just batted my foot and then he took off. And
It's like,
so then I started playing with him, and then that was it. The
that's
charcoal one just
perfect.
kept looking at me. So
I love that. That's my favorite thing. I wish, like, I need to pay more attention to those little things. That's how I picked my very first cat ever. As a calico when I was a
mm,
kid. And of course, you usually go for, oh, this one is the prettiest or whatever, because you don't
right.
really have another way. But that one just kept coming up to me and just
Mm,
wanted to be held and wanted me. And the others just really didn't have interest. And my mom was like, when I told her I wanted the calico, she's like, why?
mm,
Why not the pretty one? Like the big fluffy pretty
right.
one. No, I want this one because it wants me. And I
Yeah,
was
that's
like,
right.
I never had a better kitty. Don't tell her because she's pretty close. Like
She's listening. Her ears just tweaked there. Yeah,
she's like,
she's on it.
yeah, I know you're talking about me. I just know it. No, I love her. Like she was like that. When I saw her, it was like that too. She just
Mm,
wanted me, and I knew I had to have her, which was great because she was like rescued basically. Like they
yeah.
were undernourished, they were flea ridden,
Yeah, same with this
just
guy.
awful conditions, and
He had
it
this
just,
big, huge. He had scratched so bad, it was all just bare on his neck.
oh
And yeah, they got him good, and they got him back together.
yeah,
But he's a wild. I mean, they're half. I'm not a real. I mean, I let them be not wild, but I let them have their own life. They go out when they want, and I'm not overfeeding them. Sometimes, yeah, they can do their duty real well if they're allowed out and just live outside. Mostly come in when they want, but they often don't. I've had quite a few cats over the years.
yeah.
They get taken or died, or someone got poisoned from who knows what.
Mm.
But they all around here. It's good to have them just out and about on the property because the mice and stuff like that will just they leave them at your door for you.
Yeah, I think it's so sweet. A lot of
Mm.
people are like, oh my god, what do I do with this? Like, you say
Yeah,
thank you, that's what you do.
yeah,
It's a gift. Well, okay, so I have something like last night. I took
mm.
some questions. I asked people if
Oh
they
yeah.
had any questions, and I know
Excuse me.
at least a couple. Somebody here is very anxious for me to get to.
Oh, who is it?
Well, I have a
Okay,
question for you
sure.
about, do you know that Linda is your number one fan, and she thinks you're a
I do know that.
musical
Yeah, very.
genius?
Yeah. Oh, she's such a wonderful support. Always.
Yes.
It's so nice to have Linda and others. Randomly a comment will come from Linda or whoever, and you know, we all have bad days. Sometimes they pick you up so nice, and it makes you just get through those little tough moments or whatever. And it's so.
Yes.
I'm so appreciative of Linda and super super support. Always positive and wonderful comments. So hi, Linda.
She Oh, he said, "Hi, Linda." Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about, but what I do is not, I'm not creating something from
Mm,
nothing like you are. but I still get that sort of a feeling, I think, whenever somebody gives me just a really the people are just amazing with the compliments and the kind
Right.
always of encouragement and, I love what you're doing, please keep doing it, stuff like that. Um, it always brings me back up even when I'm starting to just kind of deflate. And
Yeah.
I love that part of it. And I could only imagine what that would be like if I had some sort of a creative gift like you.
Well, you're
And
doing it your own way, though. You know, it's the same thing. I think what it's not necessarily the product or the song or whatever. It's you're being open and vulnerable enough to let your real self out, and that's what really resonates with people. Whether you're interviewing or talking or having a marathon, session of 13 hours,
yeah,
um, it's because people, we're so separated in life these days. There's just so many people. We live next. There's so many of us, and yet we're so apart. And so when you have these avenues where people feel connected again, it really resonates with them. And that's what it's all about to me. I'm a very human person. I'm not a. I love one-on-one connections in a group. That's why I worry about the. Don't worry, but I know myself. And in crowds, I tend to clam up. I just sort of observe. And if I'm doing dishes in the kitchen and even at family functions, and my sister or brother will come in, and that's when I'll connect with them because it's one on one. It's meaningful. I don't have. It's not surface, and
right.
so in crowds, but in these ways, say with my songs, I get to just let this stuff out that's in me, and it resonates with people. It doesn't have to be live or anything, and so
Mhm.
just some absolutely wonderful comments over the last 6 months.
Yes.
Mark Atkinson. I was just there the other day, yesterday, and he had such a great comment. He's like, dude, your music took you to Australia, and I was like, hey, that's right. Even though it's Mark, thank you, Mark. That was so awesome.
Mm.
Mark Hodnott, such a nice, humble and generous man, and but
Yes.
the music it also did it, in its own way,
Mhm.
and so I'm just loving it, because I've been saying I have a different, like everyone's got their stuff in life, their pain and family life, that early childhood stuff. I had a bit of an interesting one, and it was I have an adopted brother, and we went through a lot of trauma early, and there was this moment at I think I must have been maybe 8 years old, and I was caught. I was downstairs, and I was singing a song. I was pretending I was holding a microphone, and I had one of my feet up on the third stair, and I had my elbow, and I was just imagining, And my brother saw me up, and he never let. He just made so much fun of me,
Mhm.
and I just stopped that whole thing, like so much. I mean, it was like this huge embarrassment, and I just stopped for probably 8 or 9 years. I just never, and so I just brought that up with him because he texted me the other day and he said, "Hey, I see you're still making great songs." And I said, "Yeah, you remember that time?" And
Mhm.
yeah, he did. We couldn't not remember it. And yeah, it's so funny. So I mean, I'm really having fun just letting the songs out, and we'll see what happens. So
How funny. I
yeah,
remember you told me about that a long time ago, and
yeah,
that's awesome that you talked to him about it.
yeah. It's funny. It is really interesting that I brought it up with him because it was this like thing that bugged me all my life. Like so it was that type of childhood. It was like a loving house, but not super safe. It was not a safe environment, like emotionally. I'm more, as I grow older, I realize how sensitive I am, and I'm different than, I don't know why, but maybe I don't know, but so those things affect me. Things seem to affect me more than others, and
Yes.
so I don't know what that is, but it's cool that I brought it up, and kind of like another thing you can just pack away. Like I hadn't addressed it for what is it now, 40 years, and now it's addressed, and so that's done. We can chuckle over it, or He
Right.
actually apologized. He's like, but there's lots of stuff like that, growing up.
I've been through something very similar, and I never had that moment, where I was just like, I just kept doing, because I was like that. Like I used to sing all
Right.
the time, and I had that sort of moment where I would get made fun of. My brothers
Mm,
were kind of jerks and
right.
stuff, but um, other people would hear and they'd be like, "Oh, that's nice," and stuff. Like they
Mm,
actually liked it. Like my aunt one time was like, "Was that you?" And I was like, I was so embarrassed because I got caught. I
right.
was little. I remember we were on some sort of a road trip, and I had like headphones on, listening to my little what those little cassette players.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I had a Madonna tape in there, and I was singing a Madonna song in the '80s. Of course, I was little, um, and she just turned around and looked back at me. I was sitting next to my cousin, and she turned around and looked back at me, and she's like, "Was that you?" And I was like, "What? You could hear me?" Oh my
Yeah.
god, I didn't realize that people could hear me. I can't, I don't know. So it's like I was
Yeah.
so embarrassed. So I've always been like super conscious if I'm singing.
Yeah.
It's like I make it into a silly thing. It's not serious. I'm not seriously trying to sing like really well. I'm
Right.
just not being silly with it. And
Yeah.
I still do that. I'm 45 now. I still do that. Like I won't sing serious.
Well, it's like I have this theory. People can have, like, Adele has an unbelievable voice, and like
Mhm.
there's singers that are trained and they have beautiful voices, and they sometimes tap in with heart as well. But like, if you're uh, singing your own truth and you're letting out your own heart, your own soul, it doesn't, your voice doesn't really matter. It's not what it doesn't matter how, if it's really bad, it'll be good because it's genuine. That's what comes off people. It's like that's what people thrive for. They want genuine connection to people. And there was this at that thing that live show I did. I didn't get to film him, but there was this guy that he's seen over maybe the last year. He moved here. What's going on? Yeah, go ahead.
Oh my god. So Julie says, so what I'm hearing is that Stacy and Allie should sing a duet, right? Are you guys hearing that too?
Oh, oh yeah. Um,
Oh my god, that would never happen.
but
Not
this
not
guy,
in front of people for sure.
but this guy let out this stuff, like so much pain,
Yeah.
and he didn't have a really great voice, but yeah, it was moving. It's one of those
Mhm.
things. I think we get so caught up in like sound, how
Yeah.
how it sounds. It's not actually what people are after. It's like good art. Good art stops you. It's not like perfectly done. Everything's perfect, drawn in the lines. Like that's for me, anyways.
I agree.
Yeah.
That's what I there that is something that's how I've always felt about it. It does, I don't have to be perfect. I don't have to be like Adele. I
Right.
just like when I'm in the car or something, I am a rock star. I don't care. That was like my
Yeah.
younger dream before being a
Mm.
lawyer. That's all I wanted to do was be like a
A
rock
singing
star.
lawyer.
I want to
Yeah.
sing forever. Yeah. Like it just that's all I cared about. It really was. And
Yeah.
of course my mom was not supportive of that in any way. So I never got to have lessons or anything. I just kind of sat in my room and that's all I did all the time was when I'm alone, I'm singing along to
Mm.
everything. I know every word to every song in the '80s. I'm pretty sure quiz me.
Yeah.
But
It's a
in
funny
my
thing, eh?
car,
Music,
yeah.
like we do it, like humans, we do it, and it's like it moves people. And I had a song from a long time ago, but I say it often too, or a lyric from a song a long time ago. Is that we all do sing, all of us,
Hmm.
whether it's just in the shower, or when you're raking leaves, or whatever. When you feel like you're safe and alone, you're not gonna. I think all of us sing on some level, and so it's really neat. It's a neat thing.
Yeah. And it feels good. Like it always makes me feel better if I'm, just kind of down. I'm distracted from whatever shit I'm going through and I feel better somehow. It
Yeah.
just makes me
Yeah, it
feel
lets it out, eh? Well, you know that some of those things I've sent you over the months or whatever, those chants,
Yes.
those are really cool. And that's not only just singing, but that's a vibrational thing. Like when or whatever you're doing, there's this thing called toning where people all get together and they just do one tone. You kind of take a big deep breath in and just how you exhale, and all of a sudden the sound starts to become one, and so that has like physical effects, and so that's what part of singing is too. It's the vibration and the letting out. I don't know. It's awesome for me. I love it. I always have.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've sang since I was just a young, but not out loud. Just always, like
Mm-hmm.
loved lyrics as well. I mean, that's another thing that got me is like when I found Bob Dylan and I started listening to those lyrics. Man, that guy can write so cryptically and straightforwardly. How
Mm-hmm.
words can mean one thing just on the surface level, but they can have 19 different levels. And I love that. I love that. I try to incorporate those subtleties into lyrics. That's what makes them.
I remember when I first noticed that about your songs, like it was Illusion of Justice when
Mm.
like before anything, like it was just a hey, I did this thing and it's not done, and here, listen to this, what I've got so far, and you had that part with the justice, and I was like, and then
Oh
you said
yeah,
it was slightly different. I was like, is that just us or is that justice? Like, because it
yeah. And you
and I
don't ever, you should
caught
never
it.
tell. I don't know if I told you, but
You did
is it?
tell me,
Yeah, but just you let people. But I'm not going to be able to tell everyone that listens, and
but
then you get them thinking. They got
that
to
was really
contemplate it.
cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
that part of that was really cool because it was because of the conversation we had. That's why it jumped out to me. Like I
Right.
remember the conversation was about like the Mam Fam stuff.
Right. Yeah.
It's just us. Like we have to do something, and it was like when that hit me, I remember just being like, "Oh my god, I got a little secret
Yeah.
thing." That's so cool.
Yeah.
I
Well,
remember
that song I really liked the when it came out because the lyrics came out really quick, but that there's a new sheriff in town. I just love that because like people that don't know the case won't know anything, but people that do know the case will know that Wiegert just became the new sheriff. Like
yes,
I love that, and
yes,
it's not thought out. It's just like half of the lyrics come out because I've been so immersed in the case, and I have so just like everyone, you go deep, you come back out, take a breath. There's bits that stick to you. Things might float away, and then you get reminded of them, and there's just tons of material. I mean, I was thinking the other day, I could literally. I mean, I think there's one song where I'm saying, I'll just keep singing these songs till he's free. And I was like, there's so much material in this case that I could do tons more songs on
hmm
every aspect. I mean, you could do it. It's insane. It just keeps, not that I try to, I really don't try to, but um, if something gets me, like the evidence disappearing was really got me a couple of weeks ago. And that's where that last song came out. It's just the start of the song, but that's what really, so if something else comes out, like when we get a judgment or a ruling on this, I can see maybe something getting tweaked and I get frustrated again, and then some other song comes out about a judge, or who knows. Hey, do you want to hear another? What are you okay?
yeah. Sorry, one
Oh yeah,
second.
yeah.
There's some cooking going on in the background. I had to mute real quick.
Ah,
Are you
gotcha.
asking, do we want to hear a song? Yes.
No,
Yes.
no.
Oh,
I was going to say, you want to hear another idea? Here's another dream idea that I had. It might have been just weird airplane stuff, but on the flight back from Australia, I just started thinking. I was writing lyrics for a bit, and then I was like, what? Yeah, I was angling. How can we make a how can we create narrative to battle to serve? It seems like the state, just like the case when they investigated, they had millions, and they have Kratz being interviewed by media to this day, even though the guy should be. I mean, they really should look at who they're interviewing in his entirety. His scandal, his ethical, like lack of ethics, really, all that stuff. But they still give him a free plate, And are you there? Oh, you're muted. Okay.
Yeah, still muted.
And
One
um, uh, and so I started thinking, how can we create narrative? And so on the plane home from Australia, I just started writing, and I was like, oh, these songs should be a musical. That would be awesome, an actual Broadway musical. And then I was like, I just started writing, man. I think I wrote for God 8 hours and I wrote this thing, and the songs almost wrote them. The musical always almost wrote itself. They're already written. It's just how to link them. And then I was like, oh, it'd be cool if we could do one. And then I was like, what if I can get Eric Jose involved or Paul? Like that would be,
that would be awesome.
and just everyone. And that would be a dream too. That would be really fun to get people involved in the case, doing even if it was just one
Yeah,
show. That would be cool, man. But
I'll
I
do
always,
it. Yes.
I always dream like stuff like that, But the
That's
thing almost wrote itself. It was almost one of those experiences where I started the idea, just pen to paper, and it was just there all of a sudden, And I just had to sort of link them with not much, really, to be honest. Those songs almost, because I wrote them as we were going through the case, they're almost chronological in a way.
that's awesome. Like, I want to hear more about that. Like, are you going to do anything with that?
I do. When these ideas come through me, I have to act on them. So I have talked to a few people about. I don't have any experience in making or writing musicals, but I started looking at people and emailing people that do that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm trying to. The thing is, the thing with that idea is the songs are so simple, and what I find with my music is they're immediately likable, but they might be like chewing gum. You just it tastes good, and then you just listen to it once, and that's good. But that's perfect for a musical.
Or it could be
It's
like
a
Grease, and it's like a thing. It's
yeah,
a ma'am thing. Grease. It's
yeah, and
every
yeah,
all the time.
and
Mhm.
so that's one I've told only a few people that idea, but I have been playing with trying to get in touch with people that in that world because that's not my world. I don't remember the last time I've been to a live theater or a musical like that, but man, that looks like a good dream. That would be
Mhm.
so cool. I just thought, wouldn't that be funny? These people want this case to go away so badly, and it just keeps coming up. These little pockets of
Everything.
yeah, just keeps
All
coming up. So if anyone out there is versed in the theater world and wants to shoot a message, help me out with some stuff like that. I'm always into playing with ideas. You never know where they go.
right.
Yeah,
As a matter of fact, one of my Redditor guys writes is like a playwright.
really.
Maybe, yeah, like so
Oh,
he's
cool.
on Discord. I'll ask him about that.
Yeah,
That would be
yeah.
cool.
It's actually, I mean, in that session of writing on the plane, I mean, you're on the thing for 15 hours, so it's like I was very grateful to have that sort of minor obsession.
Mhm.
Um, but I was doing set designs, like it just took over. I just had all these things because um, it just happened. It's just like one of those songs that just comes out. It was just like, and it looked good. Even when I look back, I just looked at it the other day. I was scrolling through the sheets and I was like, God, this is like a good idea. So,
Did you cast any of the people? Like, and in your mind, did you see like
well, it
Eric
was
doing something
the start of it. It was just going to be, I did like just because I was just with them and they were just right in my mind. I had Paul and Eric Jose on stage talking to each other. And you know how they banter back and forth. I mean, you don't even have to really write it. And
Right.
then and then I thought that would just be brilliant. And then they just start talking about the case, and then all of a sudden, I thought, for what I'm not going to get totally into it, but you'd start off with like maybe the 36 million, that song, and then you could have other people come out and do, but it's like I say, it just that part of me just took off for that 8 hours, and so, but I talked to a guy in Vancouver, which is the some major city closest to me, and just still emailing back and forth and stuff. So it's hard to just come out of nowhere and say, hey, I'm this obsessed fan about this Making a Murder thing. I've written 15 songs and I want to do a musical and, and I'm doing this documentary thing too. It's like,
Yeah.
but the truth is I actually am. So it's
And,
cool.
just going to travel around the world and interview people,
Mm,
interview supporters. Like,
why not?
yeah.
They say if you can, dream it, you can do it. So
Yeah. Well,
why not,
it's
man?
like, that's so cool.
But the musical would be like just recently after Mamathon, I was like, that would be awesome if all of us that were involved and those people like the hardcore followers and the people commenting and all that, like if we could get a core of people doing that would be so cool. Even if it, like I say, even if it was just one show or
Mm-hmm.
yeah, do it in Manitowoc in 2020,
There
rehearse. Yeah.
you go. Yeah. That's awesome. Let's see. Somebody asked who Eric Jose would play. Yeah. Okay. That's what I was thinking. What would he do?
Well, it's not like that. It's not. We're not acting out the scenario. It's more about people. It's almost like an educational play. It's like two people talking about the case. One person knows about it, one person doesn't, or something like that. Where
Mm-hmm.
but like I say, I'd have to look. It went pretty deep, But and then I don't know how many. Like, there's so much I don't know about musicals. I don't know how many songs are usually involved in one. They're like,
Yeah.
But it would be cool. I'm still playing with it anyway, so
Yeah. Probably
yeah,
8 to 10 or so, which you got that covered.
yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So,
It's so funny. One of the things that happened is, I come from a family of six. Like, okay, so I have a mom, a stepdad, and three other siblings, and they just kind of look at me all my life with a like, what? Oh yeah, that's I've always been a little bit creative and different, and it's really cool. They've all come around recently. They're like really so much more supportive since they started seeing these tunes come out,
oh, that's nice.
and it's really, yeah, it is nice, because for a lot of time it's not super supportive, and so it's kind of cool, reaffirming to me that it's all working,
Yeah.
Stick to your guns long enough.
Oh, hi, Darren. Thanks for coming back and saying hello. Good to see you again. Martha asked, "Where did Stacy get his start?" I'm not sure if she means in making a murderer or with music, like writing music and playing music.
All right, yeah.
Maybe either.
Uh,
Oh,
well, yeah. So music, I never played anything. There was none. I came from my mom was a single mom for the first part of my life. My life is like this. It went was with my mom and dad were married in a very northern town. He was quite abusive, so she left when I was 4, and then he got a stepdad and stuff, and so it was like a very poor, like tough. She was a single mom, 4 kids in the 70s. It was like first generation that did all that stuff. So there was no music or anything, and like no piano lessons or anything like that. And so I didn't pick up a guitar till I was 23, to be honest. And my girlfriend at the time taught me 3 chords, and that weekend I went down with her. No, actually, just by myself. And there was this thing in Vancouver, and it was Taking Care of Business, and we played Taking Care of Business for like 61 minutes, 1,100 of us, and we got in the Guinness Book of World Records.
oh,
Yeah,
really?
yeah, and
Oh,
like
that's cool.
and we beat out a group that was like 450 strong, and they played Louie Louie for 40 minutes or something. Like, it was just this weird thing, and I barely knew the chords. It's like 3 chords, taking care of business, and so that was the first real, like. But in that week, actually, of not knowing chords, I wrote my first song, and that wasn't even that bad actually back then. So that's where I really got the bug, because I did write like poems and poetry and stuff, um, and so that's where I started. And then I had like a hippie, I was a hippie like dude all through my young 20s and going to school, and So we just had guitars and drank beer and smoked, just that type of life for a decade. And that's how I ended up on these islands. It's very much it's not surfer because there's no surfing, but it's very laid back, hippie sort of chill atmosphere and
Free.
free. Yeah. And that's how I got in there. But Making a Murder, it was just, do you remember the original? They've got a different one now, but the original thumbnail on Netflix was that rip screen or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, Making a Murder. I don't know what the fuck is that. Like, oh, sorry.
That's okay.
Oh yeah, no, this your channel's cool.
Yeah, that's right.
But and then I just didn't want to, and I was with a girlfriend, and it'd been about, what was it, a year or two, year and a half or something since my marriage had sort of broken up, and we just started watching this thing over Christmas. I think we started December 23rd, and we watched the 10th episode on Boxing Day. And I didn't have my kids. It was one of the first years, and it was like, God, I mean, that just took me, and I immediately, I'm talking like, finished the episode 10 on whatever it was, like 3 o'clock. And I'm like, well, this guy's got to be out of jail now. And I Googled it,
Mm-hmm.
and
That's exactly what I did too.
he's not. He's still in prison. And I was like, what the heck? And then so I started doing as much sort of Googling as I could, and I found Reddit. And there was this thing called Making a Murderer Reddit, and I'd never been part of Reddit, and I was like, I don't want to sign up for anything, but I did, and there was 1,200 people there, and the next day there was like 23, and the next day there was 5,000. It went all the way up to 65,000 in a matter of a month, and then Skip Top and all that stuff. And the crowdsourcing, and it just started. And once those documents dropped, that was it, man. I was in there, and yeah. And then because that change in my life, from being a full-time parent and kids around all the time, you go to this half and half thing. So I have my kids, and so there was a lot of empty nights. And the girlfriend at that time it was a long distance thing, so there was a lot of nights where I was just alone, and it's like not the greatest time to be alone. So I just immerse myself in those things, and have the guitar by, and then I'd start writing. So yeah,
When did you write your first Making a Murderer song?
that was
And what was it?
the first one was let me think now. Pretty certain it was TikTok Manitowoc.
Okay. We were thinking 36 million, but we weren't sure.
Yeah, it might have been, actually, to be honest. I know I don't remember how I wrote them. I remember how I filmed them or put them up on YouTube. So 36 million. You want to know how many? That's about how many takes I took to get that song right. There's so many lyrics in that thing, and to get them all like once through, but yeah, I used to sit and often when my son was there, I think tick tock, and my son would be like, I'd be like, okay, time for bed, buddy, and he'd be getting ready, and I'd be doing that like tick tock, Manitou, and so I wrote that, and yeah, maybe early 2016, I think. And I only put it out when it was a year, because I thought, oh, you know what? Like, it's been a year since Making a Murder was out, and I just did it. And then TikTok Manitowoc on Reddit, because he had started that new Reddit, because Making a Murder Reddit got taken over. He said, hey, here's a new song. It's pretty good too. And then just so happened, I talked to Mark, and then we recorded that one about a week later, and I put it up, and that was the start of the recording. That's for sure.
You got to tell the rest of that story though about your son.
That he learned. He knows all of them, man.
When he like walked by this room and he's like in there,
Yeah.
tick tock.
Yeah. Well, he's to be honest, I just got to. What time is it, Allie?
10:43.
So that's 8:43.
8:43.
Yeah, that's cool. Um, that guy, he's awesome. He's 15 this year, and He knows all my tunes.
Mm.
You know, when the marriage broke up, so my ex-wife had two kids when we got together, very young, 1 and 3. Then we had my son or our son together, and so we raised them right for a good 11 years. And after the breakup, he kind of stuck with me because he was going to school on this island, and my ex-wife moved to the next town, which is like not so far away, 20 minutes away, but it's a ferry ride and stuff. So that guy stuck with me through a lot, and he did his thing, but he I'd always be playing him to bed. Really, like he still likes it. When he goes to bed, because we had a beautiful little cabin we lived in, and it had an upstairs loft room, and so I would be downstairs, and he would be going to bed, and I'd just be playing tunes. And he still loves it.
Yeah, like who
So
wouldn't, right? Any person
yeah,
here
maybe.
I know would love to have Stacy Seabrook sing them to
Yeah,
sleep every night. That would be cool.
that last song that last song I recorded just on my other channel, the one I put out yesterday, or um, that's one of his favorites. That's one of the reasons I did that one. Just because I like getting them out there now and again. He's never watched Making a Murderer, but he knows some of this. He knows a lot of the lyrics of the songs. But there's a lot of tunes. I always say to Mark, because me and Mark are starting to work really well together, and I laugh sometimes. He's like, "What?" I was like, "You don't know how many songs I got, dude. I mean, we could do this. I could be over there every week for if we just do a day session. I could be there easily a year. I just have so many
Mhm.
songs that are in me that I just don't play anymore. But now I see the reason to bring them back because Mark can dress them up so nice. He's
Mhm.
awesome, Mark Atkinson. Yeah.
Yeah, he is.
Oh,
Really.
just yeah, and down to earth, and just a humble guy. And what I really love about him, he's so talented. I mean, he's played with stars, and he's won awards and stuff. But he just he honors the song that's in front of him right there, and he can read you. He can read you. He can read he can read me very well. He knows exactly
Mhm.
where I'm at. So it's cool.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I can. I hope to keep going over there.
Yeah, Rachel is asking if your son is musical as well.
Now he's starting to drum a bit. He was starting to. His mom put him into some drumming lessons, and so uh, just recently, when I'm playing, he starts doing a bit of drum beat, which is really fun, actually. I've played so all my life by myself mainly, and it's always been quiet because I had the kids, and I'll just be like trying to work these songs out. So I always play with my fingers. I don't usually use a pick, and so it's nice to have someone that he knows the songs too. Like I say, I've barraged him I've drummed them into his head, so he's got the beats and stuff. So that's cool. But he hasn't played any instruments yet.
What's going on there? Like, it looks like it's daylight where you are. Like, it
Yeah,
gets
it is. It's
almost
well,
6 o'clock.
it's not, if it's 10:53, so it's 8:53 here.
Yeah,
Yeah, and that's the ocean, so it's pretty sweet.
it's so bright.
Yeah, it's just we're getting longer. Days
Yeah,
are getting longer.
you're dark though. Like your face is
Oh
all
yeah.
blacked out, but the
Oh
back
yeah.
just looks like it's freaking the middle of the day there right now.
Oh yeah. Should I turn a light on maybe?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, one sec.
Definitely want to see you. Hey, you guys remember tag me if you have something that you want me to ask him because I'm trying to watch chat, but
That might be really
that's
bright.
better.
Oh
It
well.
it is, but it's I
A
mean,
little better.
yeah, we can see you now.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I didn't realize that was.
Okay, well, Ziggy wants to know if you like blue cheese dressing.
No, I don't. No,
Good. Right on. I'm with you. Not
that's a
about
good question though.
right. It's random. I love the random questions like
Hey, you get to know a lot about people with random questions.
right. And
Yeah.
I learned that you like mushrooms on your pizza. That's
Yeah.
one of
Yeah,
those.
that's right.
Well, no, darn it. Oh, you're welcome, Rachel. So, what do you want to talk about Zoner contacting you? Because that was like the coolest thing ever.
That was cool. That kind of fizzled out. So I mean, it's like, but it's always cool. I mean, that whole week or two is just surreal, you know,
Mhm.
because on the same day, within the same hour, um, Zellner started tweeting my song. Remember that day? She just started tweeting them, like one every. It's like, holy crap! She
Yeah.
tweeted one of my songs, and then the next hour she tweeted another one. And then the next, and I was like, wow, that's cool. And then on one of the comments, it said, please contact Kathleen Zellner, and gave me the address. And I was like, huh, that's weird. Is that just someone fooling around, you know?
Mhm.
So that was fine. That all happened. And then I went down for coffee. It was like 20 minutes later, and I get this phone call from Mark Hodnott, and he's like, Stacy, would you be interested in coming down to Australia? I was like, yeah, like I'm just sitting in my truck at the time. I'm just going, what is going on today? Like this is, and then I think it was a day later or something.
Same.
So I sent off that email to Kathleen, just thinking, well, if it's someone fooling around, it's just someone fooling around. And then she contacted me back, and yeah, that was nice. That was really great. I mean, she said, Stacy, I love your songs. I'd like to talk about. Um, I'd like to discuss how they can be of more benefit to Stephen and Brendan. So that was cool. And she said, maybe leave me your number. So I did. And then we talked a few times, or not talked, but emailed back and forth. And she'd say, I'm very busy. I will contact you. And then she put those songs up on her website. And so it was all going good. But, she's busy. So I don't think she's going to contact me because she took the songs down. It might have just been a nice little support, nice little thing. Maybe not going anywhere, but I think she should, to be honest. But I think they have some potential to help.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I wonder
and
what she had in mind, though, when she said that.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, I wonder too, but I think I'm not certain, but I think there is a way. I think there's a part of me that already knows that some of the songs are going to work somewhere, and I
Mhm.
don't know why I think that, but it's been with me for quite a while. I just thought, well, something's going on here, like it's not. It's just sort of meant to be in a way. So we'll see. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. But it was cool to hear from her, and even just that, even if it petered out to nothing. And I tried to involve her in the MAM Fam thing. That's when she sort of took the songs down. So I didn't know if she thought, oh, I'm just trying to scam or try to get notoriety, or I'm trying to make money. That's one of the common things is people think, oh, you're making money off this. It's like, no, there's like, I mean, it's really sad to know how many songs there's no money. It's like, so it's virtually just putting them out there. People wanted to support and they want to buy a song or have it on their phone, but no one really does that anymore. They're not songs. They're not like pop songs. It's like you either know about the case and you like them
Mhm.
or not. But so, and same with the Man Fam. I think she might have thought, oh, you're just going to try and get on this coattails of the, but that's not it at all. I'm actually really interested in, like I say, I'm interested in the psychology of injustice, but I'm also interested in creating a narrative that's interesting and intellectual and is pro truth. And so I can do that. I don't need Zellner. I would love to have help. I would love to have support of like Drizzen and Ira. I've tried to contact. I mean, I've tried to contact them through the years, or Buting any of those people. I'd love to, because there's one thing about artists is that we have free reign. We're not confined by a lot of the things professional people are, and you can use that uh, sort of recklessly, which I wouldn't. But I can write a song about anything, you know, and so it's kind of cool to
Blue cheese dressing.
yeah, and I'll work that in there with some chorizo sausage,
Yeah.
uh, and so, and it's just like those my friend Mo Sherwood. Uh, he did those drawings. I commissioned him to do those. You know, it's like I can do that. I don't need anyone's okay. I don't need anyone to say, "Oh, you can't do that." I can do what I want. I'm an adult, and I've got my own view, and so I think that's some of the stuff I can bring. That's what I had this whole. I'd prepared my. I was ready for Zellner to phone, man. I was like, I had contingency questions. I had all things she might say. I had this sort of greeting I was going to say and try to be concise, not waste your time, and aspects of what I bring to the table and stuff like that. And
Instead overthinking, like deep thinking into like
yeah,
preparing.
yeah, but it's like it's just being prepared. So if that opportunity arose, I could strike, and it would be like because there is this thing. I'm knowledgeable about the case. I've got creative vein in me. You know, it's like it's just running through me all the time. I'm intelligent, and I've got a lot of ideas, and I'm 100%. I just believe that in their innocence, and so I thought these things are attributes that you might, she doesn't know me from anything. So, but I mean, as I do more songs, and you can tell that I'm not like a wingnut,
Yeah,
most of the time.
it's very clear. It's very clear that you are completely genuine. Like you are very passionate about it, and everybody can see that. So I have no doubt that she will probably, once she becomes free or whatever, she'll
Yeah.
pick back up with you because you have so many ideas, and it's just like you commit her and you tell her all these ideas, just little bits and pieces, and it's like, holy shit, what do I do with all this right now? Like,
Right. Yeah.
so what you always say to me hasn't happened
Right.
yet.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right. Not yet.
Not
Well, I
yet.
remember when
Yeah.
the Wrecking Crew, I forget what it was like around Illusion of Justice time or whatever. And we were talking about Farak, and so I emailed him. Do you remember that? He
Yeah.
had the Wrecking Crew coming out, and I emailed him and I said, "Look, you got to start making shirts. The Wrecking Crew shirts." And he messaged me back. He said, "Oh, that's a really good idea. I'm going to run that by my publisher," but he didn't do it. And at that time, I really think those would have flown off. It was right before Christmas,
Definitely.
and I thought Zellner could have done official member of the Wrecking Crew. Because she had come out with a tweet with her members, and they were all like arm in arm, and she said part of the Wrecking Crew or something to that effect. I forget the exact words, but I thought, even she's got 1 million followers, or I don't know how many. I shouldn't say that. I'm guessing, but she got a lot of followers on Twitter. And if she had done that right before Christmas, and Kathleen, if you could do it this Christmas too, if you're still working on the case, and said, hey, 100% of these T-shirts are going to Avery Defense Fund or whatever, you'd have them flying off. It's just you don't even have to do anything. I said to John, you don't have to do anything. It's just, the Wrecking Crew official member or whatever. It's like so simple. And then, so that was one thing. But, John, it's not his book. He wrote it, but he works for publishers or whatever. So they had the call. But yeah, all those ideas. I have so many. Sometimes it's annoying how many.
Well,
Because I can't do them all.
right.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of questions like related to this.
Sure.
First of all, Jamie says, do you know that you're his idol?
Right on.
And
Thanks, Jamie.
he asked,
Can't wait to see you at the rally. Oh, you're coming.
yeah, I know, right? We were trying so hard. We both,
We're gonna get it. We're gonna get it. It's gonna happen. I know it.
right. And he asked if you have any of your music transcribed yet.
No, I don't. I mean, no, that would be awesome. I mean, I've often thought of getting. I have some friends in that world here. It's a very artistic world I live in on this island. It's like, I think in and around this area, there's such a high level of the biggest art, the most artists per capita in Canada or something is around where I live, and so there are people like that. But I don't have experience, and I'm just a slacker hacker, just singer songwriter. So, but I've thought of some because, to be honest, excuse me, some of the songs that people don't know about are, I've joked with Mark, and he'll be like, "That was a good tune, dude." I'm like, "Oh, I got you. Wait, Yeah, I got another one that's way, but it's like, so I've thought about doing that with a few tunes, but no, it's so, yeah, it's just, but I would love to get some of them.
Right.
Yeah.
Linda asked if you're gifted in any other arts.
Yeah, I've done a lot. I've done sculptures. There's a bunch of sculptures around here. I fell in love with sculpture, and I used to paint. I used to be, I used to be that hippie guy, so I had this angle on different expressions, and I mean, I still am really. But when I had children, I decided I had this one art show, and it was good. It was like, not that it's about money, but it was like promising. It was like I made about 11 grand in this one art show. It's like first one. It's like I was like, oh, maybe this could maybe I could do this. And then kids, and they were just so young, and I thought, oh no, it's like I don't want to do that anyways, because that ruins it when you start worrying about that. It takes a genuine sort of. So I still do. I still want to. I still do some sculpting, some rock, some carving like that, and virtually every. I was clearing some trees the other day, uh, just a hedgerow, and as I was cutting them down with the chainsaw, for those moments, I was actually taking them down in an artistic way. Eventually, before they just went down, but I'm always thinking stuff like that. I do things like, if I'm mowing a lawn or a path, I'll make it. I always just, it's never a straight line, or it's always part of my life. Some sort of trying to make something not necessarily beautiful, but different, or yeah, maybe beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful. I think that sounds perfect.
Yeah. There's this quote I love. It's beauty is the proper dwelling place for an enlightened consciousness. And that's kind of true. I think if you can surround yourself with beauty, or do beautiful things, or even just entertain and play with, a messy room is better than a clean room is better than a messy room, and a beautiful room it takes you feel free in it. An empty room, like I like simplicity often. If I have my way, it's a very simple room, not a cluttered room.
Clean your room.
Clean your room. That's right. Yeah. If you can, you should see this room right now, man. Everything's moved in. It's just like I got a few more days of going through, yeah, 20 or so boxes, and then a big garage sale. Then off. Then I'm off doing the MAM fan.
Yeah. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
that's so exciting.
Yeah.
T asked, I love this question.
Yo, T.
He said, has Stacy ever been inspired to write a song about Teresa Halbach?
Yeah, I did.
We should talk
But
time.
I didn't write it, and I haven't. It would be more about the idea of that, because I I just have too many questions on. Well, this is about the case. So I have too many questions on how things happened. There's things about the case that trouble me about Teresa, and so I'm not secure enough to write that song, um, because it's a lament, or it's like a sad song, or I don't want to let it out because there's so many questions. The the family members in the documentary, to me, they, that classic quote of Mike Halbach, the grieving pro, that first raised alarm, and their reaction, and then you find out, TikTok is on Manitowoc is always about this, the Kathy Williford aspect of it.
Mhm.
There becomes this, and the question of the bones and the Carmen Bootwell. There becomes this aspect of I'm not committing to that song right away, because I want to make sure what is, and it's not clear to me, and I'm not like I don't I just have to, yeah. So that's um, I have written quite a bit and thought about that stuff on that subject, but I'm not I need to be convinced completely, and I'm not yet, to be honest. So
What
I
about
don't know. Yeah.
like the angle of like her friends, like hearing her friends talk about her and who she was?
Mm. Well, to me, I mean, you could do that. I took it from another realm of a loss of a child, and so I can write that song without any particulars about her. That would be an okay song, Could be just generic, so it might work out that way. But um,
Even
I
if
don't.
it was,
Yeah,
that would
you
just
could do. You could take it any angle you want. But when I came on, when I was dealing with that, I took a particular angle, and I think it's still a questioning. Zellner said no, no, and I mean, if I had to bank, like if I had to say, um, are those her bones and all that stuff, I would have to say yes. I would guess if I had to, but I don't want to. I don't have to right now. I can still reserve judgment, and man, it would be nice to know, you know,
yeah.
what
Well,
they were given back. So we'll never know. And people say, can't they do this? You'll never know now. That's done.
right. Mhm.
And so chain of custody is lost, and that's the thing. I mean, people that aren't involved in this case don't understand. The more you dig, the more you realize, wow, I mean, this is like shenanigans,
Yeah.
like endless. Like, it's okay, oh, this could be explained like this, or the key didn't have any DNA. Well, it could have been this. And it's shiny. And hey, there's no photographs. They're in a rush. And the tarp was all like you can explain this stuff away, but then you just keep digging and you just keep seeing more and more evidence tags changed. I mean, you start becoming
The 80
what
things.
yeah, well, 80 or 100
There's at least.
or no corn, like all these things that as they stack up, but people that just watch the documentary because they haven't gone and seen some of the like documents, or they don't want to go. A lot of people don't want to go, but deeper, and they just think, oh yeah, well, he's guilty and he's a piece of shit anyways, and blah blah blah. And it's like,
Right.
no, as you see this, man, it's like this is awful what happened. I mean, the thing is that I forget who it was. I forget. Oh, I think it was my interview with Carol Ann down in Australia. She said at one point, you know, to be honest, his record's not that bad. Like he was falsely convicted of rape, but before that, and the gun sort of incident that he got charged and served time for, the with Sandy Morris. Yeah, that's bad. He's not like they paint him out as this. I mean, the cat thing, and which is questionable. I mean, I believe the story that it wasn't even him. He was taking the rap for his friend.
Yeah.
Um,
That's in the documents. So
yeah,
that's
and so it's like she's like, and she got 20 years experience in law enforcement, and she's like, to be honest, like he's not the super worst dude around. I mean, you can
mhm.
as a cop, you come in contact with a lot of people worse than that. Like a string, their history is, you know, I have a lot of law enforcement in my family. My grandfather was one, my cousins one, my aunt works for them. My mother worked for RCMP, which is the federal um, thing, so I have a lot of experience in that sort of world. And these guys' rap sheets are usually start from a young age, and they're just steady,
Yeah.
and but so Stephen gets painted off as this awful dude, but when you understand that he really hasn't done anything, you know,
Yeah.
he's done nothing, and it's like just an interesting case, and I talked to Mark Hodnott about when he interviews him, and Mark's a good judge of character, and I believe everything Mark says. You can just get it off. You can, like I've said in lyrics or whatever, you can hear it in his voice.
Mhm.
Same with Brendan. I mean, I would love to interview Fallon, Gahn, Kratz, anyone, just
Right.
straight up, man. Because I'm not. I'm pretty straight shooter, and so I'd like to question them. So
Wouldn't we all?
yeah,
Yeah.
because Kratz, the way he dealt with the convicting that little interview, it's like, are you on crack? It's like I can deal with people like that, no problem, because I just let them spout. I don't react, and I'll just come back to my point,
Hmm.
and that's all you have to do with them, because they are wanting you to react. They want to
Right.
they want to create this thing that distracts people, and
Misdirection.
yeah,
Yep.
and so it's just let me at them,
Yeah.
you know.
Um, let's see. Someone asked, how many times have you watched Making a Murderer?
I think I've watched it um, 3 full times, and then I've gone back. I know the episode.
Right.
I know the episode, so when I need reference, I'll go back. I can just go pretty much to the episode I want. So I probably watched a
Mhm.
lot. Making a Murder 2, I was not that impressed with, to be honest. And so I haven't watched it. I just watched it twice, I think. Maybe the first time was really quick because I was in a rush, and then I watched a bit, but it didn't impress me, to be honest. But what? How could you? The first one took 10 years,
Mhm.
and the second one was kind of. I think it was just sort of shopped out by other documentary makers, and so
I like that it was different. Like this was more specifically for us
right,
than
yeah,
just anyone who doesn't know anything about the case. Like it wouldn't stand on its own as a documentary. You wouldn't know what the hell's going on. But for us who do, getting to see these behind the scenes and the interactions with Zellner and her experts and getting to hear them
yeah.
speak, it was
That
just
part
a
of it,
really huge
yeah.
thing for me.
No, that part with the experts and the DNA dudes and stuff like that, that was awesome. I mean, that was
Yeah.
really great. But the
Hmm.
reenactments, I cringed at some of them. Um, the yeah, mainly that part, or the Brendan Dassey side of it was covered pretty well. They had some good graphics, but I found it hard for lay people to follow. Like I was glad
Hmm.
I had about a lot of background information on it, because it was hard to follow if you hadn't watched or kept up. Us in the
Right.
community, we didn't really get new stuff. I mean, we're right there anyways. As soon as one
Hmm.
comes, we're like piranhas. It's like,
Yeah.
and
We're waiting.
yeah, and so on that aspect, I thought it might be a little difficult for, say, my mom or something. But you know, as people keep talking, I might go back to that. But Making a Murder was a work of art. You know,
Yeah,
absolutely.
definitely.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
first one was
yeah,
wonderful. I couldn't
yeah,
imagine 10 years of footage and
yeah. I
turning it
mean,
into something like
and
waiting
they
that
don't
long.
they don't get mentioned enough, actually, in my mind.
Hmm.
Sacrifice that they made and how they've changed the narrative by bringing this up. They've changed the narrative on criminal justice reform. They've just to go there and um, do what they did for that long. It took a lot of courage, and so I always think that I would love to meet those two and sit down
Hmm.
and interview. I mean,
Maybe at the rally.
part of the MAM fam thing, I thought, oh, I'm going to do 10
Hmm.
interviews. And I thought, oh, it would be cool if it became good enough, like filmed well enough and interesting enough. And then it would be cool to have them interview me, because I can't interview myself. I was like,
Hmm.
who would be the perfect people to interview me? Because I am part of the whole scene, like, um, and I thought, oh, that'd be cool to have them. But that's just another dream. I dream big.
I mean, it's not unreachable though. Like
No, it's
they'll
right.
be there. They'll be at the rally, they're there. Even if like when I was there, I didn't see them, but they
Right.
saw me. I mean, my
Oh
face is
yeah.
up there
Yeah.
on the thing. I don't know where they were.
Right.
So they're
Yeah.
there. They're there
Well, I don't. I
somewhere.
mean, their crews might be there, but I don't know if they were there. Were they?
Um, like I saw them in Chicago.
Oh yeah.
for Brendan's thing. Well, one of
Oh
them
right.
was there at
Right.
least. I don't
Yeah.
know if
Yeah.
the other one was there, but one definitely was
Yeah.
there. And I don't know the difference between them. I want to say it's Moira.
Moira. Yeah.
Yeah, the one that doesn't have the long hair, the one with the shorter
Right.
hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was
Um,
there.
it would be cool. I'd love to talk to those two. That's got to be a reality trip. You know,
Mm.
starving
Oh yeah,
students, and then they make. I mean, how many people have watched Making a Murder? Oh my God.
right.
Or
I remember we
like
tried to figure
60.
that
Yeah.
out. It's like
Yeah.
how do you even?
Well, those things that you researched for me, there was like, I think you said 60 million. They guess about 60. It's been viewed about 60 million times.
Yeah, and that
So I
was
mean, yeah.
not long after too. I don't remember,
No,
but it
that
was
was recently.
it
That was,
okay?
yeah,
I
that
don't
was after
remember.
MAM too. And so it's like, even still, I mean, that's a lot, you know. And it's too bad that people just watch. You know, that's one of the aspects of that man family. The idea is to find out why it bugged people,
Mm.
and also then maybe down the road pivot off that and then start um, investigating why it doesn't bug people. You know,
Yeah,
that's the real, because that is the real question. How we become so apathetic? How
right.
can we watch someone this and not care? And so I can't not care. That's one of these things about being a creative person. Come on. Um, uh, is you're open, you know, your openness. So creative people are really open. And so I can't not, it's like, I can't even um,
Right.
not care. So, and it becomes hindrance in life if you're always, you know, just running around worrying about everyone else. So, but
Yeah.
you know, I'm growing up now, so I can learn to handle it a bit. But um, yeah, it's been that whole thing. These are the things. The problem with my ideas is that like, you know, it's like I think so much that they go from here to here to here, and they're just like,
Mm.
well, I mean, that's going to take a couple of lifetimes. That's yeah. And it'll stop a lot of ideas because they get too big. But I've realized now, you don't. It's okay to go there, but you still just do the first steps and just see if it has life of its own. You know, so
Hmm.
the first step in planting you know, having a big huge garden is just planting one plant, and so you just got to do
Right.
that. So yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Linda. Linda said that you should listen to the podcast with Alec Baldwin.
Mm,
Yes, it's the lady that made the documentary. Hey, Linda, I looked for that. I never could find it. Can you
mm.
are you able to find that and link it? Because I did try to watch that when you suggested it a while back.
I tried to contact Alec Baldwin.
Did you?
Yeah, because he's a pro. Um, Avery, he was like pro Making a Murder. Him and Ricky Gervais. I don't remember what I was talking to or why, but I remember going through these people, like these celebrities that were interested, and I tweeting them my songs or saying, I forget what it was. You know, it's so long ago now, but I don't know why. You know, I've never really done any activist. I've had there's tons of activists and environmentalism around us, and I don't know what, you know. This case just got me, so I started acting out.
Acting out. So, like, I am also really curious about what makes this stick with some of us, and then
Mm.
others they're just like I don't want to say that they just don't care, but
Mm.
the ones who can watch it and just let it go,
Can turn off, yeah.
those people, um, they they're curious to me. Like I don't understand that, but also the ones who have never watched it, like they've heard of it, but they've
Right.
never thought about watching it, even though everyone is talking about it for 3 years now. And like just last night, I met somebody
Mm.
who had never watched it before, and they're like,
Right.
"Oh, wow, that sounds really interesting. I'm gonna have to like binge watch this." And I'm like, "Yes, you should."
Yeah. Watch out. Yeah.
Right.
I don't
Here
know
we
why.
go.
I mean, there's just people that can, they don't. It doesn't affect their daily life, so they don't. It doesn't affect them like that. But um, you know, I'm always shocked at people in my immediate world where I've written these. tunes, and they don't. Some of them haven't watched it,
Mm-hmm.
and so. But some of that stuff is tough for people. Some people watch. I know a lot of people watch the first episode and just they can see it's going to happen, and so they don't want to go there. It's too hard. They even feel maybe more than they know that they're not going to be able to handle.
Mm-hmm.
So that could be a reason.
I don't know. That
Well,
seems
yeah,
like something that I would feel, like I know this
mm,
is not going to go well.
yeah, yeah,
But then especially when you throw in Brendan, like
right,
still to this day, that is one of those things that haunts me daily.
right,
Um,
yeah,
but it also drives me like that.
yeah,
That is the thing that drives me to keep going. Like I have to do something. What
yeah.
do
I
I
mean,
do? I don't
that
know.
is
I'm
it.
not creative or artistic or anything like that. Like I'm just here and I can talk about it and I can read about it and I can have discussions about it. But, you know, as
No, I
far
mean, you know what? I think don't belittle what you do. It's like creative or not. So what? You're like a painter or a singer or whatever. It doesn't really matter. It's like I often, you know, Richard or Jose. He's
there's truth, right?
yeah. It's not to take away from any other YouTubers, but I remember seeing Richard way back when, and I was like, who the fuck is that? I'm not gonna watch this. Like I just would skip by him, and he stayed there so much. And I've sent him numerous messages, over the years, and I say, hey, it's not little what you're doing, and it's the same for you. It's not You're not doing nothing. You're doing something. You guys are having and especially recently. I mean, there's been a lot more um, interest and stuff, but uh, I would send them these notes or messages, just going, this is something. We're doing something here, and people can go. It's the same thing about my song, just writing a song or whatever. Yeah, well, that's true. But you know what? They can have an effect that we do not know. You don't know whose ears your words, you know, reach, and what effect that has, and that's really powerful stuff. So just doing what you do, I think it's great, and I think all the people. I mean, people have different styles. I'm not a big fan of some people's, and I'm more of a fan of others. But everyone talking about it is the right way to go. It's better than silence, that's for sure. There's some sort of quote. I
Mm-hmm.
forget what it is. It's like um, silence is supporting the the oppression, or I forget the exact quote, but it's like if you say nothing, you're giving support to that nefarious or that negative. By speaking
Mm-hmm.
out, we even if it's wearing a shirt, or you ever see the one person protesting something somewhere or sitting in a chair with a protest, like just one. Those people are strong, man.
Like me, I
Yeah,
was the last person
that's
at the
right.
rally.
Yeah,
I was the last person just sitting there on the stairs. They asked me why I was there, why I was still there, because I'm stubborn, because
yeah,
I'm here until everyone's gone, because I'm here until no one else cares.
that's
And
right. There's usually a big trail of time, and there's a handful, and then once it starts gaining steam, that you get a lot more people. They can just jump on. So you, I remember seeing you, and I remember seeing Eric Jose and Perplexed. I didn't know her name at the time, way back when, and Casey, and but that's like the first year I remember seeing those things, and it's like it's cool because it's like I don't know. I mean, I met Richard, and so I've never met you, like that. We know each other because of this, but it's like you have this connection to people just from interest. It's really cool. And now Mark, and it's like a big. That's why the MaM fam. That's what it
fam.
is. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're all part of it.
Yeah. Well, you said that it was on when you were on with Paul. Now I lost my thought. Oh, just like when you meet somebody and you just instantly have this connection, like you
Mm.
share this thing in common and you
Hmm.
just know, like
I'm telling you, that is so rewarding to me. Like one thing I will enjoy at the rally, which I did down in Australia too, is just talking to people that are familiar with the case. It's so nice.
right?
Yeah. I don't have to see their eyes glaze over. I don't have to see them do the, it's like,
That's exactly what I said last night too.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
my friend Paul, reporting live from my sofa, his partner is like into this with him, and that's really cool. And like that,
right.
you're in such a rare position because I've
Yeah,
heard so many times the most common story is my partner or my family just doesn't
yeah.
understand.
They
Like
don't watch. Yeah, no.
something really exciting happened. Like he, let's see, we were doing like basically, like a MAM 101,
Yeah,
basic questions for beginners. And I told him something that he'd never heard before. And he was like, oh, I can't wait to go tell Matt about this. And he
right.
was so
Yeah,
excited about it. And that he would be excited about that to hear
yeah,
it. And I was like, when I try to do that, it's like, that's good, right?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
oh,
That's right. Yeah,
cool. It's like, okay, can I go
yeah,
back and play my game now?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
right.
That's right.
Yeah,
But you know,
so
it
it's
doesn't
nice.
bite everyone, and so that's that would be. I mean, I don't have too many people in my life that know about it, and people that did. Like I used to have some employees that were getting into it. They dropped off, and so I can touch base with a few in my life like that. But it's okay. I got you guys, and I got you and Eric Jose and Mark and Paul, and so
I'm always ready to go. A conversation about it.
yeah. Hey, but speaking of that, is
Mhm.
I actually have to go pick my son up,
Yeah.
and I got a little bit of time, but it's getting there now. It's probably
Yeah.
10 minutes or something. So
Okay.
yeah.
Well, awesome. Does anybody have any final questions? Just really quick. Ask them fast. Stace or Jamie asked, "Does Stacy know who Mike Plume Band is?" Folk
No,
writing from Canada. No.
no. And so
Uh,
one thing I have to say is that a lot of people ask me, I don't really listen to music, to be honest. I used to, like, growing up in the sort of redneck or the blue collar sort of towns, like a pretty rough industrial town. So classic rock and all that. I listened to that Led Zeppelin, and then later in life and the hippie years, it was like Neil Young, and Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Bob Dylan and stuff. But really recently, like last 20, I don't really listen to anything. Yeah, just it's not part of my world. If I'm driving, I'm so usually cranial thinking that I don't have a radio on. I'm just thinking.
that was so shocking for me to hear. Like someone who's so like
Mhm.
musically and talented and the lyrics and all of these things, and you're like, I don't really listen to music much. I was
Yeah,
like,
so
what?
weird because a lot of people give me like you play banjo, people look at you and sometimes they cringe and sometimes they don't. They smile. They think you can play some bluegrass. So I don't play banjo like that. And I've had people, hey, here's this banjo. Like I actually don't like listening to banjo music. I just like playing it my style. And I don't like bluegrass. And I don't, it's like maybe one tune. They're kind of impressive. These people that have spent their lives learning that stuff, but it's not my thing. I just don't listen. So,
Yeah. I liked it. I like that a lot. Like we're just sitting and chatting, you're just playing around on the banjo. Like that's nice
yeah,
background
yeah, that's a
little
nice one.
music. So is there anything else that you want to talk about real quick before you have to go?
No, I mean, thanks to everyone. It's been so nice. All the support. Hardly, I mean, 99.9 positive or 99.9% positive feedback. Everyone's so supportive. I love it. It really feeds me to get the nice warm responses, people liking the songs, to be part of this group in general. Just put the songs aside. It's nice to know that we're part of a movement that seems like it's growing, and we got momentum. And that marathon, that was awesome. I mean, it was really, I kind of
So
dissed
fun.
it at the beginning. I thought, oh my God, 48 hours. Are you kidding? And man, that was cool. I would have loved to watch another 30, another day at least. And, but that's all. I mean, I just hope I can keep
Your
going on
video
this
was
train.
hilarious.
What's that?
Your video was
Oh
hilarious.
yeah, that was good.
Nobody's
Um,
live.
yeah, I thought, I thought people would laugh at that one. That was good. But mainly it's like I hope to continue on with this little stream of thought I got, and we'll see where it comes, and just be open and yeah, everyone keep talking about it. That's mainly what I would say. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Ziggy, I think this will be the last question I'll bother you with, or ask you, not bother you,
Yeah.
but
No, you're not wrong.
Ziggy said, if she sends you a song, would you be willing to listen to at least half of it?
Sure. Like lyrics, you mean? Or a song?
No, something. So yeah, just send it to him.
I'm always open, yeah.
Right? I do it
Yeah,
all the
send it.
time. Just like
Yeah.
sending random YouTube videos of a song that for whatever reason has
Yeah.
just touched me at the moment and made me think of something, and
Yeah.
just will randomly share it with him. So even if he's like, okay, that's nice, go away now, whatever, I still do it because
Yeah.
that's me. I just do that. All right. Well, do you
Hey,
want to play
thank
a song or
no,
no?
I think no, I
You're
think yeah, I think I've only got I think 8% left. So,
Oh, okay.
and I'm it's like sometimes the songs that last one is going through me, and I maybe played it too much over the last few
Mm.
days and stuff. So,
Yeah,
um, we'll
I
just
know
see.
how it is. You just have to feel it, right?
Yeah, that's right. And so, and it's been a hectic day and stuff. And if
Yeah.
I'd had one planned out, I might have done it, or maybe done a banjo tune. But it's my banjo probably is out of tune. Um, but
That's
you can
totally
always,
okay.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
you knew,
great
like,
to talk. Yeah,
sorry for anybody who was expecting a song. Like, this was not like playing a song was not actually planned because I really wanted to focus more on Stacy is an amazing person and supporter and intelligent and great to talk to. And I wanted you to hear this other part of him. So
yeah.
it's
You can
okay to
always
leave
go
that
listen. We
now. All
can
right.
do it again
Check.
where I do a live or something.
Yeah, go check out Eric Ozzie. I'm sure he'll play you in or play you out of his
Yeah,
live that he's doing with Scooby. I don't know when that's starting because I haven't had a chance to look, but probably soon. So
yeah. Hey, well, that's a good time to end. And thank
yeah,
you. Thanks for doing what you do and having me on. And I'm sure we'll talk again. Like we do.
yeah. Well, thank
Yeah,
you so much for hanging out with us and talking to everybody, like
yeah.
interacting with people. That this was fun, and I'm so glad we
Awesome.
got to do
Right on. Okay, well, don't stay up for another 9 hours now.
it. Well, I probably will.
Yeah, probably.
I'm
Okay,
thinking about
well,
it live, so you never know.
see you, everybody, and see you, Allie.
All right. Good night. Have
Okay,
fun.
yeah. Okay, bye bye.
Bye. Oh, you guys, that was so fun. I'm so glad that we got to do that. Thanks everybody for the comments and the questions. Um, Hanging out with us. This was really fun for me to finally get to talk to Stacy, um, and share all that with you. Like a lot of you see his songs and sometimes his comments and stuff, but you don't really get to hear him one on one, just having a conversation and getting into stuff. And that's been my favorite thing about since I've met him. Like the conversations that we have are like this. They're really good. They'll go for hours, and um, it's just always interesting and fun to have. So that's it. Like I'm just going to go ahead and stop because I think Ericozy's supposed to be going live, and hopefully we haven't overlapped. But good thing because I do want to check out what's going on with Scooby tonight. And then maybe after that, I might go live again. And, if people still feel like hanging out and stuff, I think Linda and Denise might join me, and we'll see what else we can get going on. So, it's not over. We're just getting started. Happy Friday. All right. Well, thank you everybody for coming. Thank you. Thank you so much. And we'll see you soon. Bye.